him and I got into it. We were like arguing and saying, "Hey, you suck, yo, bro. You can't do this. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my boss." I'm walking out. I'm gonna just drop everything, bro. Customers were there, like, whoa, what just happened, bro? I'm like, this is my homeboy. I'm like, this is the dude I hang out with. Really? Yo, to a point in my life, bro, I was like, I gotta cut this dude off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, you know, we don't. Honestly, we like acquaintance now. We're not boys no more. We're not friends like the way we are. We're acquaintance because the point of my life, I realized that, bro, you know, sometimes you really gotta listen to your boss. You really gotta listen, especially if he's your friend, bro. You know, especially if he got you the job and trying to help you get out, or you struggling, didn't have enough money to survive. I'm helping you, and I'm giving you all my sales, bro. Like, what's the deal here? Like, why you not listening to me?
And this ties perfectly into what I was saying because,
dude,
like I said, you have to. It can be a stressor on the relationships. We have to take in consideration is like that's a perfect example. You literally were boys and used to party together. Now you're acquaintances. You wouldn't even call him a homeboy anymore because mixing something like business and personal literally got so much in the way. But more than even that, it's like because he had to take on those like boss qualities, those CEO qualities of not only hiring, firing people, but giving people instruction, and having expectations from people, and holding them to those expectations. Like, you need to take in consideration when you're going into boss mode or whatever. Like, you can't be in friend mode. You can't be in like you said, you were just trying to be his friend. You weren't trying to be his manager, or a supervisor. So like that's another thing you're gonna have to take in consideration. If you really do want to be this whole boss you're talking about, you can't be vying for people's validation, if that makes sense. You can't be vying for people to like you, or to be like all these traits. Likableness, or likability was not one of them, It was actually the opposite, being confrontational, And for me, like, I have two stories for being boss. They're short though. The first one was the first job I ever worked at Subway. You know what I'm saying? I was 15 years old. I worked at Subway. And I remember so vividly. I was the first employee. The Subway just opened, brand new facilities. And I was like, oh, word. I remember my interview, everything, because I was like, I got my worker's permit at school. I was like, nigga, finally I can start working. Like, I was excited as shit. I didn't even know what working meant at that time. I was just excited to get in the field of working, did a job force or whatever. And I remember I walk in, big ass Haitian dude named Holben, like 280 pounds, cool, and just the nicest smile, you know what I'm saying, shaved head. I'm like, hey, like, when I was 15, I was small nigga too, like, I was like real short. I was like 5'4", 5'6", around there. And he was like, I was looking up at this nigga like this. I was like, hey, bro, I was like, what's good? And he's like, hey, like, what's your name? This was literally how my interview went. He's like, what's your name? I was like, Demba. He's like, how old are you? I was like, 15. He's like, oh, you go to school around here, huh? And I was like, yeah, like right up the street, I go to school there. I can get here really fast. And he's like, okay, you're hired. And he shook my hand, and I was like, word, nigga. I was like, it's easy to work. I don't know what all these niggas on unemployment are talking about. I was like, I'm 15. That was easy as shit. And so I literally got the job. I started working. And, like, mind you, like, the Subway just opened up. They just bought it because it's like a franchise, I guess. And so I started working there. I was getting paid $8 an hour at this time because I was minimum wage. And so, but I wasn't just happy for it. I was just happy to get paid anything. And I was like, word. And so, also shout out to DeAndre, my night manager, who was a fucking real nigga who used to fucking chief with me back when I used to smoke. He used to be like, I remember at first I was smoking, and I'd be like, DeAndre, I'm about to go chief in the back. And he'd be like, all right, cool. I'd be like, you want to hit? You want to fuck around and hit this? And he's like, nah, bro, I got to be working, bro. I have a kid on the way. And then after like 2 or 3 times, I asked him, I was like, hey, you want? He's like, yeah, lock the door, bro. He's like, lock the door, nigga. We would lock the door during shift and go chief in the back and shit for like 20, 30 minutes. And shout out to DeAndre. I hope you're doing well, bro. But like, I remember because I was the first employee. I literally worked before him. But he worked at a bunch of different Subways too. And so I like met like the owner, you know, like the dude who bought the franchise. Hogan was like, he was like helping manage it, you know, like he was like the owner's like, he was kind of like his like co-founder or whatever, you know, or like he was like his books guy. He went to USC, I think. Fucking, he was like a lineman at USC. I guess he was like 280 pounds. He always told me that shit. And I remember vividly, he was like, these niggas were telling me like all this shit like about the company. They were telling me, I don't know why, I was only 15, but like they trained me. That I met like these like Subway official people to come and like they helped us learn how to make sandwiches or whatever, how to like clean things like the regulation sanitation. And so I knew all these things. And mind you, I didn't know this. You actually cannot be a supervisor over other people or a manager over other people unless you're 18. You know, like you have to be 18 to have responsibility for other people. So like, basically they kind of just, I don't want to say they finessed me because they kind of showed me the ropes and shit. They were mad nice to me, but like, I trained at 15. I trained like 8, 9 people who came in and out. Like I was the oldest, the first employee at that place, and I stayed there for like a year and a half, and I trained like 8 or 9 people who were like in and out. And then I remember being like, I would open the store, I would close the store. I was 15, they were giving me keys to this fucking store, nigga. I was like, and I literally remember being like, damn, bro, like, I would remember this girl named, shout out to you too, Arjane. Arjane, she was mad funny. She always used to call me gay, though. She was like, this nigga's probably gay. But, like, she was fucking me. I know you was fucking me, Arjane. But, like, she always used to think I was gay or some shit. And I was like, am I gay? But, like, she literally, I remember I got her fired and shit. Because I was like, you know, I saw her out the side of the store. And I was like, I went like this. Because they had this inside joke shit. And she, like, flipped me off mad hard. She's like, fuck you, nigga. And, like, she saw it on the camera. Or they saw it on the camera and she got fired. And I trained her. I trained mad other people. And I just remember being like, damn, bro, like, I was telling her that day, I was like, I should be, like, your fucking manager, like, for, like, you should really, like, I trained you, I trained everyone else here, like, I closed the store every day, I do the end day, I'm handling, like, thousands of dollars, I was like, I'm 15, going on 16, I was like, I should be, like, the manager here, but I can't be, they told me, and, cause, legally, I could not be, and I was like, damn, like, and so that's why they hired DeAndre. And no shade to you, he's a real nigga. But like I was like, damn, that should be me. Like, I was mad tight. And so I remember being like, damn, I was in a leadership position, but I wasn't like a leader in the sense of that, you know. And I remember being like, damn, bro, like those responsibilities, having to tell people like, oh no, like people would like take more tips than other people, like having to tell people shit like, yo, like you haven't fucking share the tips, like. Shit like that was mad awkward for me when I was 15, talking like 24-year-olds. And like I just remember like having to kind of take on a couple of qualities that honestly innately I didn't feel like were me at that time, you know? I didn't feel like I was good at vetting people or seeing if people were going to be diligent workers. I didn't feel like I was good at, like I was doing the same shit as you really, even though they were my homeboys working there, I was just being friends with everyone who I trained, you know, when really, even though I wasn't on paper their manager, I should have been.